Hi, welcome to the Shiko Math Practice Lab, Learning Through Practicing. And this is the Calculus 1 lecture series. And the topic we are going to talk about today is the derivative rules and the formulas. This is our practice set number 3 about this unit, derivative rules and the formula. So in this practice set, we're going to talk about, we call this a quotient rule. And we did the previous video, we talk about the product rule, and then this one will continue go on to the quotient rule. So let me just flip through the few pages quickly so you can know what we're going to cover in this video here. Okay, so the first ones here, it will just basically, we're going to give you a definition about what is the quotient rule about. Okay, then just like for the previous video, we're going to do some very, very mechanical calculation. Basically, we apply the formula and step by step and try to do it. So we'll be getting better at applying that. Okay, then after that, we are going to have a few like a kind of application type of the problems. It's not directly very mechanical ones here. And then this is the other one, as you can see, we want to find the equation of the tangent line again. So this is like, since every video we try to find the tangent line because that's the, the whole spirit about the derivatives, right? Okay, that's it. And let's go to the worksheets, and then we can start to work. All right. So like in the worksheets, the first things we see here is like, hey, what is the quotient rules here, right? So the quotient rule is just like a product rule. So for example, if my y is equal to something like x cubed plus 2 and like the e to the x. So when you try to take the derivative here, one of the very, very common problems, and students say, oh, I'm just taking the derivative of the top. So it's 3x squared and the ex here. And this is very, very wrong, right? So we cannot do that. It's just the same like if we have like a product rule, we say if this is x3 plus 2 times the ex, we say one of the common mistake a student will make is like y prime, we just take the derivative of the first one, is 3x squared, then times the ex. And this is very, very wrong. So we should never make those very basic errors here. Okay, so what is the quotient rule? It's just like we did the product rule. If you highlight it, okay, so this is the formulas here. So first one's here, you square the bottoms, right? So you square the bottom, and then for the top here, first you hold the bottom, right? So you hold the bottoms, not change. Then take the derivative about the top. Then the next thing is here, you hold the top, not change, and you take the derivative about the bottom. So it's so it is very similar like the product rule, right? So instead of the plus here, you need to be careful, this is a minus, right? So, but it's similar like the product rule, you hold the bottom and you take the top derivative and then you hold the top, take the bottom derivatives here, right? So this is what we call the quotient rules here. So, okay, so now let's try to take a look here. Right, okay, so let's start with the easy one. And also like for the quotient rules and just like a product rule, and some instructors, they will ask the student to simplify it. And then that is what your algebra going to come in to combine it and simplify it. Okay, so let's take a look at y prime here. So what is the formula tell us? Hey, I need to square the bottom. all right? Then the top here is first you hold the button still. So you hold the button, nothing changes here. Then you take the derivative about the top. So what is the x derivative is 1, right? And then be very careful here. This is minus, right? So it's minus. Then what you do here, you hold the top, not changes here. Okay? Then you take the derivative about the bottom. So the bottoms here, the EX, the bottom still, the derivative still is EX here, right? Okay, so now let's what happens here. So this will be the EX to the square. Then here this is EX minus XEX. I can factor the EX out will be EX1 minus X. Then you cancel 1 EX. What is the answer here? It's EX1 minus X, right? So it's pretty easy, and the way to simplify it is not too bad. Okay, so right, so you need to remember that. So that's what is the formula about. Okay, let's try to do the second ones here. G prime X. So what I need to do is here, hey, I need to square the bottom, right? So it's 2x plus 1, the whole thing square. Then what I need to do, you hold the bottom, not change, right? So 2x plus 1 squares here. Okay, so you hold the bottom. So if the color green is the bottom, color yellow. So you hold the bottom, and then you take the derivative on the top. So what is the top when you take the derivative? X squared will be 2x, right? And now you minus, then you hold the top, right? So it's x squared minus 2 here. Then you hold the top, right? And then you take the derivative about the bottom. So what is the derivative about the bottom? It's 2, right? The 2x is 2. Now let's combine, and hopefully we can simplify a little bit, or not. Let's see what we can do here. So this is 2x plus 1 times 2x. So this will be the 4x squared plus 2x, right? Then the distributed here is minus 2x squared. Minus is what? It's a plus, right? So it's a plus 4. Okay, so now I can combine the similar term. So my final answer, this is 2x plus 1 squared. And this is a 2x squared plus 2x, right? Plus 4. If you want to do one more step, simplified, you can do that. This is 2x plus 1 to the square, and then you factor the 2 out, right? So x squared plus x plus 2. Okay, so different instructor, they might have a different way how much they want you to simplify it. And so just try your best and use your algebra skill, right? Be very careful, don't make some silly mistake. Okay, so now here, the same things here, right? So this is my bottom and this is my top here. Okay, so now let's see here, the y prime here, right? So y prime, so first is the square roots of the x. We know the square roots of x is what? Is x to the 1/2, right? Because we know the power rules, right? Okay, so let's try to do all together. So what the first thing we need to do? We need to square the bottom. So it's 2 plus x squared. All right. And then hold the bottoms, right? So the hold the bottom, 2 plus x. Okay, so take the derivative about the top. So what is the derivative about the top? This is 1/2. And then x to the what? Minus 1/2. Right? Power rules is n minus 1. So 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1 minus 1. Okay, then minus holding the top, right? Take the derivative about the bottom. So the bottom is what? Is 1, right? So let's, I'm not going to highlight anymore, so I think you know, right? So just like this is hold the bottom, and then this is hold the top, right? And the remaining take the derivative. Okay, so now let's try to simplify this a little bit. So this is 2 plus x to the square. So this is 1/2. The x to the square root, so this is bottoms, right? So then you have the top here, you have 2 plus x. then minus the square root of the x there, right? Okay, so now let's see here. So this is a 2 plus x square, common denominator. Okay, so it's a, well, I need to have more space here. Looks like I don't have enough space on the top. All right, so let's see here. We'll put a little bit down here. So this is a 2 plus x squared. Okay, so the common denominator is 2 square roots of the x. All right, so this is minus 2 square roots of the x, right? So it's a common denominator. So the top is not changed. Okay, so be very careful. So this is the square root of x. You put the square root of x on the bottom. So like you have a denominator. And so what is the top going to be? So top going to be 2x, right? Because 2 and 2 cancel, x and square root of the cancel to the square root of x. So most of the students make mistake. This is the place. All right, so this is the place when they find the common denominator, and this is where they're going to make a mistake here. All right, so just be very careful, and you will see we do some of this frequently. Okay, so this is x. So 2 plus x minus 2x. So what is here is 2 minus x. Then I still have the 2 the square root of x. So now I can move. So let's find my final answer here. So I have this is 2 minus x, right? Then the 2 the square root of the x, then 2 plus x to the square. Right, so this will be my final answer. I need to have more space for that. All right, okay, so now number 4 here, okay? So if you want, you can pause the video right now and then go to do the remaining 3 to see you'll be able to get the remaining 3 correct or not, right? So if you want, you can pause it and then resume it later, okay? Okay, now let's take a look at the number 4. So v prime t, as always, what I need to do is square the bottom. So it's t to the et. Okay, so hold it at the bottom, not change. Then the top derivative is what? Is 1, right? Okay, so here this is the bottom, and this is the top. Right, so the bottom, you're holding it, you're not changing here, right? Okay. Okay, so now, so minus, you hold the top, right? Now the bottom here, bottom is t times et. So when I try to do the bottom, so what rules I need? I need the product rule, right? Because this is TET. So I hold the first one, take the derivative of the second one, is ET. Then plus I hold the second one. So this is ET. Then the T, take the derivative just by itself. So be very careful. Why is in here? Okay, so make yourself a note because of what? I need to use the product rule. Right, so I need to use the product rule because the bottom is t times et's, right? Okay, so now let's try to make a little bit, let's try to simplify it. And so hope we don't make any like silly algebra mistake. All right, so this is TET, okay? So minus, so I distributed here. So it's a minus 4TET minus, right? So minus 4TET and then minus, right? So minus 4ET. Okay, then the next term is minus T square ET. Then T minus TET, right? Okay, I hope to not make any silly mistake. Okay, now let's take a look at which terms I can cancel. Anything? Yeah, TET. Whoa, that's pretty good, right? So TET I can cancel. And I guess that's it, right? Okay, so after that, I can, oh, I did see the ETs, right? So in here I have ET, ET, and ET. All right, so that's good. So I can factor the ET out. So what is the top going to have? They're going to have negative 4t minus 4 minus t squared, then divided by t, et, oh, so this is t, be careful here, hi, here, squares, right? So this is t squared et squared, right? Okay, so now I can cancel one of the et here. So what is my final answer? So my final answer will be t squared et. And then this will be the negative, right? So it's t squared plus 4t plus 4. Okay, if you want, you can simplify one more step. I don't have a space, so boy. So here, the one more step here, this is t squared et. And this is really the t plus 2 squares, right? Okay, so that, yes. Yeah, it's kind of I need to give it more space next time. Okay, so let's take a look at number 5 here, right? Okay, the number 5, so the f prime t. So what I have here, okay, so the same old. So is I square the bottom, t minus 3 square. All right, so t minus 3 square. And then hold the bottom, so it's t minus 3. Okay, so the top, be very careful. So here, top is t to the cube, right? So what is a t to the cube? It's t to the 1/3, correct? Okay, so t to the 1/3. And now I can take the derivative. So this is will be 1/3, and then t to the negative 2/3. I should have a bigger space and kind of so the kind of one out of space. Okay, then minus t to the 1/3. Check the derivative about what? About the bottom. So it's 1. Okay, so I'm going to erase some of the previous problem so I can create some space for my, for this problem I can write, okay? So, okay, so I got space erased. Okay, so sounds good. Okay, so now let's go here. We have plenty space here, right? Okay, so f prime t. Okay, so let's see here. The bottom is t minus 3 square. So the top here, right? So top here, and this will be put into the, so this is 1/3, right? And then this is t to the 2/3 because I have a negative, right? I have negative, and then get rid of this. Okay, so all right. So then the top here is t minus 3, then minus t to the 1/3. All right. So this is the place, like I said, this is the place of most of the student. If they made a mistake, this is where they make a mistake. Okay, so let's see here. So the bottom is nothing changes, t minus 3 to the square. Okay, common denominator again, right? So this is t to the 2/3 minus 3 t to the 2/3, right? First number, nothing changes, t minus 3. Okay, take a look at the second one here. Original, this is 1/3. You put an extra 2/3 on the bottom. So what is here? So it will be t's, right? Then you have a constant here. So this is 3t. Okay, so now in here, go up here. So I would say, okay, this is t minus 3 square. So now it's a common denominator. It's t minus 3 minus 2t. So what is here is negative 3 minus how many t's here? Minus 2t. And still I have the denominator is 3 to the t to the 2/3. Okay, now finally, I can bring the denominator. So this is 3t to the 2/3, t minus 3 to the square, negative, take it out, 3 plus 2t. Okay, so be very, very careful. I think most of the teachers, sometimes they will want you to kind of combine the here's, right? So be very careful. If you have those exponents, how do you combine it from the common denominators here? All right, okay. So now let's take a look at problem number 6 here. Okay, so the number 6 here looks pretty complicated, right? So let's take a look. So f prime. All right, so f prime x here. So let's take a look here. Basically, is you plus the bottom. What you do here, you square the bottom. All right. Okay, so now keep the bottom x plus ex and the derivative on the top. Okay, be very careful, the derivative on the top here, right? So this is 1 minus x ex. So 1, the derivative will be 0. So then in here, so what I need to do, you need to use the product rule again. So hold the first one and take the derivative of second one, then hold the second one and take the derivative of first one. So it's ex here. Okay, so be very careful. See here, this is the same thing here, right? So the what type of the why these ones here? Because I'm using what product rule, right? Okay, so this is the product rule. Be very careful, right? Because this is x times ex. Okay, then minus holding the first one, so it's 1 minus x ex holding the top one. Take the derivative of the bottom. So the bottom will just be 1 plus ex, right? Because x take the derivative is 1. And then the derivative of ex will be itself here. Okay, so now here, all right, so this is x plus ex to the whole thing square. Now you FOIL, okay, so let's make sure we FOIL this correctly. So this is x to the ex minus ex the square and minus x square ex minus x to the ex square. Okay, minus 1 minus ex and plus x ex and plus x ex square. Like I said, you know, in the calculus, this is pure algebra, right? So I hope we did this one correctly. So now I see the x ex, this one can cancel with this one because one is negative, one is positive. And I find another one is pretty good. This is so I have the x to the ex. So this is a positive. And hey, this is pretty good. So this is negatives here. All right. So now I have how many left? I have 4 terms left. Okay, so far so good. So now in here, I have in here, so this is x plus ex to the square. So I have negative the x square minus x square ex minus 1 minus ex, and that's it. All right, so it looks pretty complicated, but like I said, just be careful about your algebra. Some teacher may be nice enough and they say, oh, just finish it here, you'll be fine, you don't need to combine. But most of the teacher probably will want you to combine to the simplest way you like. You can, right? Okay, so those are the mechanical. Okay, so now let's take a look at this one. How do we do it, all right? So these ones here, they give you some numbers here. Now they want to find h prime 2. That means I'm going to find the derivative. Okay, so this is the, okay, so this is hx is the f of x over gx. So what I need to do is here, square the bottoms, right? The gx square the bottom. Hold the bottom, so it's gx. Take the derivative about the top, so it's f prime x, right? So then minus g prime x. So minus holding the top, then take the derivative about the bottom, right? That's just a pure formula we did. And now you want to find h prime 2. Okay, so in here, this will give you g2, the square. So you just apply in everything x with 2, right? So let's here, you just get the 2. So you just put all the x equal to 2 here. Okay, so it's g2 squared. So this is g2, f prime 2 minus f2, g prime 2. Okay, so g2 is what? G2 is 4, all right? So this is 4 squared. And G2 is 4, f prime 2 is negative 2. So it's 4 times negative 2, right? Then minus f2. f2 is negative 3 times g prime 2. G prime 2 is the 7th here, right? So just be very careful about the algebra and get the answer. It's 13 over 16 here. Okay. Okay, so now in here, oh, don't know what is, you got a word here, that's fine. Okay, so h prime x here, so let's do the same things here. So this is h prime x here. Okay, so h prime x, so this will be what? It's 1 plus f of x, the bottom square, right? So it's the same old, same old. So hold the bottom 1 plus f of x, then the g prime x, then minus hold the top, right? So gx, then take a look at the bottom. So what is the bottom? 1 is cancelled. So this will be f prime x here. Okay, so now we put the h prime 2, means everything, the 2, I will replace with x was replaced with 2. So f of x is negative 3, right? F of x is negative 3, so it's 1 plus negative 3 to the square. So the top here is 1 plus negative 3 times g prime 2. So what is g prime 2? G prime 2 is negative 2, right? So the g prime 2, oh no, g prime 2 is 7 times 7 minus g2. G2 is 4 times f prime. F prime is negative what? Is negative f prime is negative 2, correct? Okay, so now if you put these ones here, this will be the negative 6 over 4. So the answers here will be negative 3 over 2. See here. Okay, all right. So now let's take a look at the next ones here. I don't know what happens here. Got this 15. Don't know. Okay. Okay, so now let's take a look here. All right, so in here, we did one very similar problem in the previous videos, right? So with the P functions, F times G. Okay, so they want to find the Q7. So let's try one more time. That means the first ones here, I need to find the Q prime X. So Q prime X, so that means here, the G what? GX what here? You need to square, correct? Okay, GX you need to square. Then the hold of the GX, take the derivative of F prime X. Then minus holding the F of X, take the derivative of G prime X. Okay, now you need to replace the X with the 7s here, okay? G7, okay, let's take a look here. So G7, so this is 1. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this is the point, 7, all right? Okay, so now G7, okay? So G7, that's G is the group one, so G7 is here, correct? Okay, so G7 is, what is the value here? Is 1, right? So G7 is here, is 1 here. So let's try to write down the 1. Okay, so this will be 1 to the what? 1 to the square. Okay, now we have a G. First one is here, Gx. So G7 is 1 again, and the times F prime. All right, so here, this is the F prime at 7 here, right? So F prime at 7. So this is the F prime at 7. But this is a function. The F prime, we keep talking about, what is that? So that means at the 7, I need to find what? I need to find the slope, right? So this is the, that means the derivative is the slope at 7. So it's the slope of this line, see here, right? So if you take a look, this is the slope of here. So what is the slope here? So the slope here will be what? The slope here will be rise over wrong. So rise is 1, wrong is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this is 1/4, right? So we did a similar one in the previous videos here. And then minus F7. F7, so that's just this point is the function value. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's here, so it is a 5. Okay, now let's take a look at G prime 7. So G prime 7, that means that the G prime is here, right? So this is, that means I'm looking for what? I'm looking for the slope of at this line here. So what is the slope of this line? Let's see here. So this is the slope, right? So it's rise over wrongs here. So how much wrong here? The rise is the 3. The rise is the drop 2, right? And then the wrong is 3. So what is here? So the slope is -2 over 3, right? Okay, so if you simplify that, I trust, if you are in the calculus class, you should be able to do those fractions, right? So basically, this will just be 1/4 plus the 10 over 3, right? So the answer will be 12 over 43 here. These answers here. Okay, so like I said during our previous video, I said this is a really good problem. I still like this problem very much, right? Because now you need to understand the differences between function value and the slope, right? So, okay, so now let's take a look here. Okay, so the number 9 is here, right? So let's say find the equations, find the equation of the line, okay? So here, let's see here. Okay, so let's say find the equation of the tangent line and of the curve y equal to x minus 1 over x plus 2. And I need to parallel. Okay, so here, this is my key things here. So here, so we need to parallel that. Okay, so we need to parallel to this ones here. Okay, so we know the parallel lines, that means what is their slope relation? That means their slope will be what? Will be the same, right? So now let's take a look at this given line. What is their slope? Okay, so the given line, this is x minus 2y equal to 2, right? So if I change it to the slope and the intercept form, I can get 2y equal to x minus 2, right? So then the y will be equal to the 1/2 of x minus 1. So what is the slope will be? So the slope is what? Slope is 1/2, correct? That means this tangent line will need to have the slope at 1/2. Okay, so I know the slope of the tangent line. So what does that mean? That means it's the derivatives, right? So let's take a look at the derivative. So I square the bottom. So it's x plus 1 to the square. So hold the bottom and take the derivative of the top will be 1. Then minus hold the top, take the derivative of the bottom. X plus 1 will be 1 also. Right? So here you will have this is x plus 1 to the square. So this is x plus 1 minus x plus 1. Right? So this will be equal to 2 of x plus 1 squares, right? So this is the derivative. We know the derivative is the slope of the tangent line. And now this slope have very specific value is equal to what? Is equal to 1/2, right? Because I need to parallel to that line. So what I can do here, so how do I solve it? I use a cross product. So I say x plus 1 to the square is equal to what? X equal to 4, right? Okay, so that means x plus 1 could be equal to 2 over x plus 1 can equal to what? Negative 2, right? Because you take the square roots of the 4, you can get 2 over negative 2. So that means in here you will get x equal to what? X equal to 1. And what is here? So this is x equal to what? X equal to negative 3. I'm sorry here. So it's almost made a mistake. So the x equal to the negative 3 is here. So I'm going to have 2 points, right? Okay, so when x equal to 1, what is my y value? So y value will be 1 minus 1, 1 plus 1, so it's 0. So I have a point, so here's 1, 0. All right. Okay, so now when x equal to negative 3, then my y value will be what? Negative 3 plus 1, negative 3 minus 1. So what is here will be 4, right? So my next point, oh, I'm sorry, it's not 4. So what is that? It's 2. Be very careful, cannot make those silly mistakes, right? So this is negative 3 to what? To 2, right? Okay, so now I have a point and have a slope. So I can write my tangent lines here. So for these ones here, in fact, I have 2 tangent lines, one at the different points, right? So for the first one at the point 1, 0, so it will be y minus 0 is 1/2 x minus 1, correct? Okay, so now my tangent line is y equal to the 1/2 of x minus 1/2. Then the second one here is y minus 2 is equal to the half. And what is here? X minus negative 3, so it's x plus 3, right? So this one will give me y equal to 1/2 of the x. So this is 2 plus 3 over 2 here. So what is here? So this is x here. So this is plus 7 over 2. All right, so this is not good handwriting. So here. All right. So this is 1/2 of x plus 7 over 2. So I'm going to have 2 tangent lines here. Okay, that's it. All right. So that is we practice a lot of problems about the use the quotient rules here. So remember, right? So the quotient rule. So what you need to do, you square the bottom. Then you hold the bottom, take the derivative of the top. Then minus, you hold the top, take the derivative of the bottom. Do not make the silly mistake. Just take the derivative of top and the bottom. All right. All right, that's it. And it's a very important rule. I hope that you guys, after all this practice, you can master, you can master the skill about the quotient rules here. Okay, so it's nice to talk to you, and you have a nice day. And looking forward to talk to you in our next video. We're going to talk about the derivative formula for the trig functions. Okay, all right, bye.